Development and Special Initiative, Professor Ehsan Iqbal, the chief guest.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent. Honorable Federal Minister, Professor Ehsan Iqbal, distinguished guests, dignitaries and officers. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. I, Waisa Rahman,
and Iram Zahid,
feel privileged to welcome you all at the international seminar which is being convened to deliberate on the subject of CPEC, the road to prosperity and growth amidst challenges. This auspicious event is being organized by Bahria University and National Institute of Maritime Affairs, Islamabad. We are greatly obliged to Federal Minister Professor Ehsan Iqbal for gracing the event as a chief guest. Sir, we request your permission to formally start the proceeding of the seminar. Thank you.
Dear guests, we would start our day with a recitation of Holy Quran. I would like to invite Qari Muhammad Abdullah, MS Scholar Islamic Studies, for recitation and offering Durud Pak.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. فإذا قضيت الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض وابتغوا من فضل الله واذكروا الله كثيرا لعلكم تفلحون. وإذا رأوا تجارة أو لهوا انفضوا إليها وتركوك قائما. قل ما عند الله خير من من اللهو ومن التجارة والله خير الرازقين صدق الله العظيم.
Translation. O who you believe when the call for prayer is proclaimed on Friday, hasten for the remembrance of Allah and leave off business. That is much better for you, if you but now. Then once the Salah is over, disperse in the land and seek the grace of Allah, and remember Allah abundantly, so that you may be successful. And when they see some merchandise or amusement, they break away to it and leave you, O Prophet, standing. Say, what is with Allah is much better than the amusement and the merchandise, and Allah is the best giver of sustenance.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد.
Jazakallah.
Before starting the program, we would like to read the concept note. CPEC, the road to prosperity and growth amidst challenges. As a flagship project of China's ambitious Belt and Road initiatives, CPEC holds significant importance for regional social-economic development. It has emerged as a game changer for both Pakistan and China, heralding a new era of economic prosperity and growth.
Spanning over 3,000 kilometers, as the project aims to connect Gwadar Port in southwestern Pakistan with China northwestern region of Xinjiang through a network of highways, railways, airport and energy pipelines. It promises to stimulate socio-economic development by improving infrastructure, attracting foreign investment, and enhancing trade connectivity with a focus of city to development.
The project has already witnessed the completion of several key milestones, including the establishment of power plants, construction of highways, and the development of Gwadar Port as a vibrant trade hub. However, the road of prosperity through CPEC is not without challenges. Security concerns in the region have posed a threat to the smooth implementation of the project. Furthermore, there are apprehensions about the sustainability and transparency of the project.
Financial strength and ensuring proper governance, accountability, and honesty in implementation are crucial to addressing these concerns and maximizing the benefits of CPEC.
On the 10th anniversary of CPEC, it's time to celebrate the cooperation and friendship between China and Pakistan. Moreover, there is a need to acknowledge the contribution of CPEC in the revitalization of Pakistan's economy over the years. We also aim to renew our efforts and commitments toward driving the project towards the early completion, which will help both countries also in their strategic ambitions.
Pak China Study and Research Center, PCSRC of Bahria University and National Institute of Maritime Affairs are jointly holding an international seminar titled as CPEC-The Road to Prosperity and Growth Amidst Challenges to deliberate on the evolving dynamics and challenges posed by national and regional stakeholders by bringing together experts, policymakers, academia, government, and private sector. It will provide a platform to discuss strategies and policy recommendations to optimize the benefits of CPEC and mitigate potential challenges by focusing on the prospects of cooperation and collaboration that will transform the geo-economic landscape of the region, fostering growth, connectivity, and prosperity by promoting inclusivity and sustainability development.
Ladies and gentlemen, program of the seminar is as flashed.
Dear guests, we are very pleased and honored to welcome all the panelists and participants, some of who have traveled a long distance to show their solidarity with the various stakeholders of Pakistan, and some scholars will join us online for sharing their valuable experiences and suggestions to the CPEC issues.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have a Prime Minister Muhammad Shehbaz Sharif message for this occasion. Pakistan is celebrating the decade of Pakistan-China Economic Corridor, which has been pivotal to the country's economic, social development. Over the last 10 years, CPEC has created many sterling success stories by strengthening Pakistan's energy sector, building high-quality infrastructures, and operationalizing Gwadr's deep-sea port.
10 years ago, we started our journey of unprecedented collaboration with our trusted friend and partner, People's Republic of China. As we look back on the past decade, we can proudly say that CPEC has been a catalyst for economic growth, infrastructural development, and regional connectivity. The corridor has laid the foundation for a vibrant and modern Pakistan, and its impact can be felt across different sectors of our economy.
The establishment of Special Economic Zone under CPEC has attracted the local and foreign investment, leading to relocation of existing industries and creation of new ones. The government is focusing on inclusive growth and sustainable development with a focus on poverty alleviation.
CPEC has also strengthened bilateral trades between Pakistan and China, which is reflected in all-weather strategic cooperative partnership. As the second phase of CPEC gets underway, we will now be focusing on tourism, agriculture, information technology, social sector development, and people-to-people bonds.
The government of Pakistan is fully aware of the prospects, challenges, and emerging needs of CPEC. We are providing all-out support for the security development and sustainability of maritime sector to reap benefits from CPEC projects.
I am happy to learn that Bahria University and National Institute of Maritime Affairs are organizing an international seminar on CPEC, the road to prosperity and growth amidst challenges. I express my appreciation for the Rector of Bahria University and Director General of National Institute of Maritime Affairs for such an important initiative on this auspicious occasion of CPEC 10-year celebrations.
I also urge all the stakeholders to join hand in such endeavors in order to effectively translate such debates into recommendations and suggestions to fully unlock the potential of CPEC. I wish and pray for the success of seminar. Now we are formally starting the seminar activities with the welcome address of Vice Admiral Retired Asif Khalik, Hilal-e-Imtiaz Military, Rector, Bahria University. Ladies and gentlemen, Rector, Bahria University.
Chief Guest, Honorable Federal Minister for Planning, Development and Special Initiatives, Professor Ehsan Iqbal, keynote speakers, Ambassador of China, Her Excellency Ms. Phang Chunshui, and former Ambassador to China, Mr. Masood Khalid, Our co-host today, Director General, National Institute of Maritime Affairs, Vice Admiral Retired Amidst. Main sponsors of the seminar, CEO and President Habib Bank Limited, Mr. Mohammad Aurangzeb, and CEO Pakistan Observer Group, Mr. Faisal Zayed Malik. Honorable diplomats, former Chief of the Naval Staff, as you can see Admiral Aziz sitting, General, Flag and Air Officers, distinguished speakers, both participating virtually and present here, worthy Vice Chancellors, distinguished guests, faculty members, students, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, ni hao, and a very good morning. It is my profound privilege today to welcome you all to this seminar. At the very outset, I'd like to thank the Prime Minister for his very gracious message for the seminar that we just saw and heard. My sincere thanks to Federal Minister, Mr. Hassan Iqbal, to grace this seminar as the chief guest. I'm extremely grateful to Her Excellency Ms. Pangchun Shoy and former Ambassador Masood Khalid for their presence today and for being keynote speakers to celebrate 10th anniversary of China Park Economic Corridor, a flagship project of Belt and Road Initiative. We at the Bahria University take pride in hosting this seminar under the overall guidance and support of Ministry of Planning, Development and Special Initiatives. I also take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Mr. Aurangzeb of Habib Bank and Faisal Zayed Saab of Pakistan Observer Group for being here and for being speakers at the event. I also welcome and extend my warmest gratitude to our speakers and delegates, both present here as well as online. I look forward to a mutually beneficial interaction among our worthy speakers and participants and hope that the recommendations presented today will help in supporting the execution of the next phase of CPEC or CPEC 2.0 as they are calling it these days. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that the global economy has undergone radical transformation primarily due to globalization and interdependence of nations in one way or the other. Free trade amongst the nations has now become an imperative to meet the needs of socio-economic development and growth. Thus, the situation demands development of robust and progressive networks that provide an easy physical and virtual connectivity to undertake agile methods of trade. In this backdrop, Belt and Road Initiative is primarily a major intercontinental geo-economic initiative of China ensuring economic connectivity. CPEC is an essential component of BRI and termed as the game changer not only for Pakistan, but also for the region. Pakistan, by virtue of its strategic location, is considered as pivot of BRI, wherein CPEC and Gwadar Port are the vital links that lay a solid foundation to connect the Silk Road economic belt and the Maritime Silk Route. I believe that full operationalization of BRI and CPEC will have significant impact on the geo-economics of the entire Indian Ocean region, particularly for Pakistan, which has the potential to become transshipment and logistics hub for the region, including the landlocked Central Asian republics. Ladies and gentlemen, today's seminar titled CPEC, The Road to Prosperity and Growth Amidst Challenges is in line with the Ministry of Planning and Development's initiative to celebrate decade of CPEC and BRI from vision to reality. I believe 10-year celebrations and this seminar are happening at a pivotal time where our country needs to promote business-to-business linkages and partnerships, and for that, BRI and CPEC are considered vital instruments. This seminar will also provide all stakeholders the opportunity to deliberate the impact created by CPEC on Pakistan's economy as well as on the overall national security. I once again extend my sincere gratitude to the Honorable Minister, Ambassador of China and Ambassador Masood Khalid for their presence. I also appreciate Bahria University's Pak China Study and Research Center and National Institute of Maritime Affairs for jointly organizing this important event. I am sure that the learned speakers will raise the much needed awareness and share valuable recommendations for policy-making cycles. With these few words, I invite Vice Admiral Retired Ahmed Saeed, Director General NIMA, to formally set the stage for deliberations during today's event. Thank you all for your presence. Pa Shong Jawai Wonsoe, China, Pakistan, Dosi Zindabad, Pakistan, Paindabad.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to invite Vice Admiral Retired Ahmed Said Hilal-e-Imtiaz Military, Director General, National Institute of Maritime Affairs, for setting the stage. Over to you, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Iram. To start with, we are very grateful to the Honorable Minister for gracing the occasion, Excellency Chinese Ambassador, former Chief of the Naval Staff, Aziz Mirza Sahab, former Chairman PAEC, Mr. Naeem Sahab, Rector Bahria, and our two sponsors, those who have been very gracious in this, supporting us, our effort, CEO Observer Group and CEO President Habib Bank. And I also welcome, ladies and gentlemen, all of you. I think stage has already been set, so I'll not take much of time, but I give you a little different perspective of BRI. That is to take some inference from Mother Teresa of the sea. You must be wondering what is the Mother Teresa of the sea. Mother Teresa of the sea is actually the octopus. And why it is said so, I'll come to that later, but some of the peculiarity which we can draw some analogy out of it, that it has 8 tentacles, it has 9 brains, it has 3 hearts, and it has multiple functioning system. And above all, it has blue blood. So when we draw some inferences, so BRI comes out to be equally that it has multiple tentacles, and the CPEC comes out to be one of the important tentacle, which has its own brain and its own working. And its heart lies at Gwadar. And if I take the symbolism of blue blood, and that is because of its major role will be from the sea. The blue economy will be feeding this tentacle, so that's why I chose this analogy. Coming over to the symbolism of this octopus as Mother Teresa of the sea, basically it is because of it has in character the generosity, the selflessness, and self-sacrifice. And these are the 3 main characters of the BRI as well. CPEC has deepened the historical friendship of China and Pakistan into an enduring economic partnership. Celebration of CPEC of 10 years revitalizes our pledge to translate CPEC endeavors into peace, prosperity, and sustainable development of both partners, the region, and beyond. The theme of this seminar offers a unique platform to have in-depth analysis by bringing together experts, policymakers, academicians, public and private sector stakeholders to discuss, debate, and conclude the evolving dynamics and challenges posed in the national and regional context of CPEC project. It also provides an opportunity to readjust our sail, apply course corrections, and avoid shallow patches. Being co-host of this ceremony, I am confident that we all will reap tremendous benefits from today's discourse. In the end, I am grateful to all of you for making it today, and especially for the chief guests. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have online presence of Mr. Mohammad Aurangzeb, CEO and President of HBL, as the financial sponsor of the event. We request for his remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mohammad Aurangzeb, CEO and President, HBL.
It's a pleasure to be here at this seminar. My apologies that I could not be there in person, but would certainly like to share HBL's perspective on CPEC. Well, our journey with respect to China coverage started back in 2013. It has been 10 years, and we have come a long way. Today, we are dealing with more than 600 Chinese corporates, a little over 80 SOEs, and roughly 25,000 individual Chinese customers. We are also very privileged to be one of the 3 banks in South Asia and Middle East North Africa to have an RMB license, and even more importantly, to have physical presence in the form of branches in China. So we've had Urumqi branch for a while, and I remain very grateful on behalf of HBL the way our Beijing license was accelerated by CPEC-The and PBOC. And before I come to CPEC, what allowed us to do with the Beijing license is to go and serve the Chinese clients in all those locations outside Pakistan where we have physical presence, either in terms of our own branches or our affiliates, which is part of BRI, but the Chinese banks are either not present there or have minimal presence. So countries like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives, on the East Africa side, Kenya, Tanzania. And so from our perspective, in addition to dealing with Pakistani clients, and roughly, we have about 30 million clients. We are now serving our Chinese clients in all these locations, obviously including here in Pakistan, and therefore we do call China our second home market. Now coming to CPEC, the first phase of CPEC, which we all know, was all about infrastructure investments, IPPs, road infrastructure. We are again very privileged to be associated with almost all of those projects. As an institution, we advised, we structured, we financed. And there the role of China Development Bank, which gave us the line or credit line for onward lending, has been absolutely critical. Now, phase 2, as we all know, was all about monetization of that infrastructure. And unfortunately, we faltered. The way it should have been executed, we have not been able to do that. I was in Beijing pre-COVID when Rashikai Special Economic Zone, that concession was given to CRDC. HBL signed an MOU to set up a branch in Rashikai, and we know where that Special Economic Zone is. While we have, made some progress in Gawada, we have branches there as well, but much more to do. And I do think, as Minister will, I'm sure, will talk about it in his own session and speech as to how this administration is very focused on accelerating that roadmap and execution of CPEC Phase 2. I'm just going to stop here in the interest of time. As far as HBL is concerned, we are very committed to help, support, assist any way we can in the acceleration of CPEC Phase 2 and this journey. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was very thought-provoking and crystallizing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have with us our outreach partner, Mr. Faisal Zahid Malik, CEO, Pakistan Observer, to share his thoughts. Over to you, sir.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Mr. Ehsan Iqbal, Minister for Planning, Development and Special Initiatives. Her Excellency Madam Pen Jinshui, Acting Ambassador of China, Vice Admiral Ahmad Saeed Sahab, Director General, National Institute of Maritime Affairs, Vice Admiral Asif Khalik Saab, Rector Bahria University, Mr. Masood Khan, former Ambassador in China, and our former Naval Chief, Mr. Admiral Aziz Mirza, Honorable Excellencies, respected dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It is an absolutely pleasure and privilege to stand before you today as Editor-in-Chief of Pakistan Observer and address this team gathering at the International Seminar on CPEC. This momentous occasion not only signifies a decade of the China-Pakistan economic corridor, but also underscores the remarkable achievements and ongoing journey of this transformative initiative. First of all, I would like to take this moment to congratulate the People's Republic of China on the successful completion of 10 years since the signing of the CPEC agreement. The people of Pakistan are immensely grateful to our Chinese brother for their significant investment in Pakistan through the epoch-making initiative of CPEC. Under the leadership of the Communist Party of China, CPC, China has achieved remarkable milestones for which I extend my heartfelt congratulations to the CPC leadership on completing its 102 years. CPEC is a game changer, offering not only projects of economic significance, but also bringing progress and development to regions that have long been neglected. The development of Gwadar Port, its 3 routes, will boost the economic landscape of Pakistan, transforming Gwadar into a hub of regional trade and investment will contribute to peace and security in the region. Pakistan Observer has long been a staunch supporter of the Pakistan-China friendship. Recognizing its importance, role in shaping bilateral relations, we deeply admire China policies rooted in the principle of sovereign equality and shared prosperity led by President Xi Jinping. Ladies and gentlemen, as a leading and premier English newspaper in Pakistan, which appears simultaneously from Islamabad to all the capitals of 4 provinces, Pakistan Observer has been at the forefront of promoting Pakistan-China friendship for over 3 decades. Our newspaper is privileged to collaborate with esteemed Chinese media houses such as China daily global edition, which China Daily bring regularly printed and distributed by Pakistan Observer. The newspaper is also enjoying partnership with Global Times, Shanghai Daily, People's Daily, CCTV, and Xinhua News Agency, further enhancing its contribution to fostering understanding and communication between Pakistan and China. These collaborations underscore our commitment to build strong bilateral ties and promoting a deeper understanding between our nations. It fills with me with immense pride to be part of the family of an organization that has consistently championed Sino-Pak friendship. My late father, Mr. Zahid Malik, Sitare Pakistan, founder of Pakistan Observer, firmly believed in the need to strengthen and consolidate Pakistan-China relations. To the line, his vision was establish a multi-dimensional mega-strategic think tank called 101 Friends of China in October 2014. The inaugural event was graced by the Chief Minister of Punjab, Mia Muhammad Shehbaz Sharif, now the Prime Minister of Pakistan, and the Chinese Ambassador, His Excellency Sun Weidong. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan Observer remains steadfast in the commitment to promoting Pakistan-China relations and emphasizing the significance of CPEC. We firmly believe that this enduring friendship between our nations will continue to flourish, opening doors to a prosperous and interconnected future. Once again, thank you, and I wish you all a fruitful and insightful seminar. Pakistan-China Dosti Zindabad.
Thank you so much, sir. Pakistan's representative in China, His Excellency Mr. Moinul Haq, Ambassador of Pakistan to China, has also shared his video message on the occasion, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Minister, leaders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a good morning. This event is very important to give us an opportunity to reflect on the successes of the past and pave out concrete plan of action for future. Ladies and gentlemen, the unique, timeless and time-tested bond between China and Pakistan needs no introduction. It is a pride of our two nations and envy of others. In a turbulent world faced with multiple challenges, China-Pakistan all-weather strategic partnership has become more important and significant. As China's iron brother, Pakistan is naturally one of the earliest advocate and supporter of President Xi Jinping's landmark Belt and Road Initiative and proudly shares its vision and objectives. BRI has profoundly shaped global economic architecture and development model, receiving worldwide recognition and support. It has provided a successful template of prosperity and progress. As the flagship project of BRI, CPEC was envisioned as a comprehensive and long-term project with key objectives to upgrade transport and communication network infrastructure, enhance connectivity, ensure energy security, promote industrialization, modernize agriculture, and thus contribute to overall socio-economic national agenda of Pakistan. And the theme for today's event is actually an apt description of what CPEC has been, a road to prosperity and growth amidst challenges. Yes, we face challenges of pandemic, of natural disasters, economic slowdown, and even brutal act of terrorism. Yet together, we marched on with full vigor, resolve, and commitment. Having the honor and privilege to be a part of this rewarding journey, I can say with great deal of pride and satisfaction that CPEC has proven true to all its objectives, ideals, and aspirations. Ladies and gentlemen, CPEC has transformed undoubtedly Pakistan's socio-economic landscape, providing a solid foundation for its future growth and development. Various statistics are evidence of the concrete and substantive and tangible benefits which CPEC has brought for Pakistan. I do hope that this event would not just be ceremonial in nature, but would give some concrete recommendations in this regard. Finally, I congratulate the organizing committee once again and wish this event a great success. I thank you all. Shukriya. Bajao, UAE Wansway, long live China-Pakistan friendship.
Thank you so much for the valuable remarks. We are very fortunate to have Ambassador Masood Khalid as a keynote speaker amongst us. It's my proud privilege to invite him for his remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, Ambassador Masood Khalid.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Minister for Planning and Development, Dr. Professor Ehsan Iqbal, Madam Pang Chanshui, Acting Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, Vice Admiral Asif Khalik, Rector of Bahria University, Vice Admiral Ahmed Saeed Saab, DG NIMA, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning, Assalamu alaikum. Well, let's say, first of all, thank you very much. I would like to thank our host for giving me this opportunity to be here today and share my thoughts. It's an August gathering, and we have the privilege of the presence of Professor Ehsan Iqbal, who has been Pakistan's leader since the CPEC started in strategizing this project with our Chinese friends right from the very beginning. And I'm very happy that tomorrow, I believe, sir, you are leaving for China to have the Joint Cooperation Committee meeting. I wish you very well, and I'm hopeful that you will be able to chalk out a roadmap for CPEC's second phase implementation. So with Professor Ehsan Iqbal, CPEC is in safe hands. I would like to briefly highlight some of the challenges we faced when CPEC started in 2013. Of course, CPEC has much to its credit in terms of tangible outcomes, particularly in the field of energy and transport infrastructure sectors. But when CPEC started, the first challenge before the planners of the two countries was its size and scale. It was a huge undertaking, a major enterprise. So it took some time in strategizing the projects and finalization of technical and financial details. At that time, I recall that our side also did not have the full professional knowledge of the complicated technical and financial matters which were under discussion. And this was the first time probably that our officials, our government was dealing on such a big scale with Chinese ministries, state-owned enterprises, and Chinese financial institutions. As you would know, traditionally, we have been dealing with the World Bank, IMF, and Asia Development Bank. So this was a new experience. We were on a learning curve. It also took some time to structure the framework of the mechanism of the Joint Cooperation Committee and the sectoral working groups. Now, they are the main bodies, main mechanisms which steer the CPEC process. Preparation of feasible projects and their presentation to Chinese side also took time. This was our job of the Pakistan side to prepare these projects. Another important, I think, highlight is that since the investment under CPEC was to take place in Pakistan, projects were to be installed in Pakistan, we were required to take necessary steps pertaining to our laws and legal framework to allow a seamless implementation of CPEC projects. So there was a lot of coordination between the federal government and the provinces. There were also logistical difficulties in mobilizing manpower, machinery, and equipment. And also there were specific timelines to operationalize projects, particularly in power sector, because we were facing a huge energy shortfall. Then the availability of the input and the raw materials for these projects also at times presented some issues. And then security. At that time, security situation was quite precarious, and no country was prepared to come and invest into Pakistan. We are grateful to our Chinese friends that they took this initiative and came forward, as always, to help Pakistan at a difficult time. So to ensure security, two security divisions were established by the government of Pakistan for the protection of Chinese assets and personnel. And of course, this remains a key priority even today. I must say that the project CPEC maintained a steady momentum during the PMLN government, and we received the highest level of guidance and direction from the leadership. However, this momentum was broken with a change of government. Doubts were created about CPEC and the BRI by the highest office holders. And this created a complication. Also, later on, COVID added another complicating factor which slowed down the project. I will conclude, because we are looking forward to another discussion later in the day, by saying that I think sometimes I find that there is a confusion here in our minds about CPEC. And of course, we get carried away by an orchestrated propaganda which has been launched by our adversaries to create doubts about CPEC, to create doubts about BRI, and to create doubts about Pakistan-China relationship. We must understand that CPEC was initiated, was launched, as I said, when no country was prepared to come and invest into Pakistan. So I am of the conviction that CPEC is a rare window of opportunity to meet Pakistan's energy, infrastructure, and technology deficit through collaboration with China. And regional countries are also looking to Pakistan to take advantage of CPEC to promote their trade through the ports of Karachi and Gwadar. Right now, given the situation of our economy, Pakistan needs investment and technology to mainstream itself with the global supply chain. And we can become a middle-income country by utilizing the opportunity CPEC offers. CPEC, in my view, is an enabler, a facilitator, a force multiplier for Pakistan to optimize its potential as a regional trade and energy hub. No doubt, there will be problems, there will be hiccups on the way, including geopolitical headwinds and regional volatility. But I think we need to follow a whole-of-nation approach to implement CPEC. And I think both the governments should remain steadfast in continuing this project, which will bring good dividends for Pakistan, China, and for our region. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your valuable comments. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have Her Excellency Pang Chun-shui, Chinese Ambassador, as a keynote speaker. Ma'am, may I request you now to take the podium for your keynote address.
His Excellency Professor Mr. Ahsan Iqbal, Minister of Planning, Development and Special Initiatives, and distinguished guests on the stage, at the presence and online. Ladies and gentlemen, very good morning and assalamu alaikum. It is my great honor and pleasure to be invited to this seminar with the theme of CPEC, the road to prosperity and growth amidst challenges. First of all, I would like to thank Professor, His Excellency Mr. Planning Minister Ahsan Iqbal for your efforts in structuring, monitoring, and implementing the CPEC. And also, I would like to thank for the Bahria University for inviting me to share my views with all of you here. CPEC is a landmark project of BRI, Belt and Road Initiative. And this year marks the 10th anniversary of CPEC. Over the past 10 years, under the guidance of the leaders of our two countries, CPEC has made outstanding achievement and contributions to the development of Pakistan economy. Its great accomplishments has attracted worldwide attention. CPEC is blessed with the visionary guidance of the leaders of our two countries. And CPEC also witnessed fruitful cooperation. In April 2015, President Xi Jinping paid a historic visit to Pakistan, during which the two sides agreed to promote the 1+4 pattern of economic cooperation, featuring a leading role of the CPEC and 4 key areas, including the Gwadar port, energy, infrastructure, and industrial cooperation. Since then, the construction of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which we call CPEC, has been accelerated. Up to now, the building of CPEC have achieved many fruitful results in all 4 areas and has expanded to a total of 11 joint working groups as entering the second phase of high-quality development. CPEC has become a very important platform for all-round cooperation between China and Pakistan. I would like to take the construction of Gwadar Port as an example of CPEC. With the joint efforts of our two sides and the support under the Ministry of Planning and also Navy, the construction of Gwadar Port has made tremendous progress. Now Gwadar Port has achieved full operational capacity. doing well in transit trade also with Afghanistan. And this year, we can say it's a fruitful year of Guadar Airport, the new international airport, the desalination plant, and the Park China Friendship Hospital will be completed one after another of this year. Now with the economic free zone booming and the infrastructure completing, Guadar is making steady progress towards the goal of a logistic hub and an industrial base, and will exert greater vitality in promoting regional economic development and connectivity. Ladies and gentlemen, and this year also marks the 10th anniversary of BRI initiative put forward by President Xi Jinping. BRI cooperation has made positive contributions to economic development, employment, and improvement of people's livelihood in all countries along the route. It has become a very popular international public goods and international cooperation platform. Statistics show that 151 countries and 32 international organizations have joined the BRI initiative. It has generated nearly $1 trillion in investment and established over 3,000 cooperation projects, created 420,000 jobs along the routes, and have lifted nearly 40 million people out of poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, in ancient times, the Maritime Silk Road connected the trade routes of all countries in the world. Nowadays, Belt and Road Initiative and the CPEC also help to enhance economic development and maritime cooperation and bring prosperity of countries along the road. China and Pakistan, we have a very long history of friendship, and now we are all-weather strategic partners, and we are always in the same boat, sailing hand in hand in spite of wind and rain. We are fully convinced that after 10-year successful cooperation of CPEC, China and Pakistan will continue to move forward side by side to meet risks and challenges, jointly promote the high-quality development of CPEC, and build a closer China-Pakistan community with a shared future in the new era. Chin Pak Dusti, Zandabad. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for souvenir distribution ceremony. I would like to request our Honorable Chief Guest, Federal Minister of Planning, Development and Special Initiatives, Professor Ehsan Iqbal, to present the seminar mementos to the esteemed guest and address the audience. May I request Rector Bahria University and DG NIMA to accompany him. First, I would like to request Mr. Faisal Zahid Malik to receive the souvenir, please. May I request Ambassador Masood Khalid to receive the souvenir, please. Now I request His Excellency Pang Chunchue, Chinese Ambassador, to receive the souvenir, please. भाई साहब का है, भाई साहब।
Now I request Rector Bahria University and DG National Institute of Maritime Affairs to present seminar memento to our honorable chief guest. We are once again very grateful to our Honorable Federal Minister, Professor Ehsan Iqbal, and our esteemed speakers for your presence. Bahria University and National Institute of Maritime Affairs is also requested to all worthy guests and participants to have honored us with their presence. With this, our opening session comes to an end. We would like to invite Professor Ehsan Iqbal to please come to the podium for their address.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Madam Pang Chunchue, Chinese Charge d'Affaires, Ambassador Masood Khalid, Vice Admiral Asif Khalik, Rector, Bahria University, Vice Admiral Ahmed Saeed, DG, NIMA, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, faculty members and students. I am really honored to be here and speaking to this seminar on China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. As you all know that just few days ago, we celebrated decade of the signing of first MOU on China-Pakistan Economic Corridor in Beijing on 5th July 2013. CPEC is one of the success stories of which Pakistan can be very proud of. It has achieved within very short time what at one stage looked impossible. But CPEC is a story which has many lessons for a country like Pakistan. It has a success story from which we can take great pride, and it also has a story that how a nation can throw away a great opportunity that has been bestowed towards it, and the lesson it can learn for future, not to behave in that irresponsible manner. Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered an era which is very different from the previous times, and I often quote this, that this century is century of innovation, speed, disruption, and transformation. Any nation that will not play by the rules of this new age of disruption and innovation will be left far behind. 20th century was a century of political ideologies in which we saw emergence of various blocs in the world on the basis of political ideologies. There was a capitalist world, there was a communist world, there was non-aligned movement and all sorts of political groupings that divided the world. But 21st century is a century of economic ideology. And the first leader who was able to understand this reality towards the end of 20th century was no other than Mr. Deng Xiaoping, the founder of modern China. He said, "It does not matter whether the cat is black or white as long as it catches the mice." And he said that we have a fundamental responsibility to create prosperity for our people. And on that basis, he redefined a new Chinese socialism and made it compatible with the market forces, made it compatible with the private enterprise, and created one of the biggest transformations in human history, comprising of 1 billion people in a seamless manner. A very smooth transition from one order to new order while maintaining political stability. In 1980, China's per capita income was $200. In 1980, Pakistan's per capita income was $300. Today, China's per capita income is almost over $13,000 and ours is about $1,600. So you can see that during this period what kind of transformation China has gone through. China went through an economic miracle that is declared by many as one of the human wonders in our civilization. And on the basis of this transformation, Chinese leadership and Communist Party of China created a new model for other countries to follow. That if they have to be successful, they have to focus on their economic well-being and creating prosperity for their people. And when I say that 21st century is a century of economic ideologies, it means that the countries and economies have to be clear how are they going to create wealth. Do they understand the new models of wealth creation and can they master them? Two, if they are going to create wealth, they are going to become engines of wealth creation. How are they going to distribute that wealth so that this wealth does not create inequality, it does not create dislocations within the society and economy which may at some time bring about some earthquake or major turbulence within the system to undo the gains. For example, Pakistan made great progress in 60s in terms of industrialization. We were one of the fastest industrializing economies in Asia. But because we did not have an inclusive political system, that industrialization and non-inclusive development created two disparities: geographic disparity and social disparity. The geographic disparity resulted in dismemberment of Pakistan. East Pakistan left us. And the social inequality created a socialist platform against 22 families, as a result of which there was nationalization and all the advantages of the 60s decade were rolled back and we were back to square one. So it is very important that while economies generate wealth, they also focus that how well is that wealth distributed in the society so that we have a more sustained, stable growth. And the third important criteria is how competitive is your wealth creation machine compared to global competition. Because this is an age of innovation, this is an age of transformation. If you will not be very dynamic, soon you will be thrown out of the game. Just few years ago, we had two dinosaurs in telecommunication industry, Nokia and BlackBerry. Where are they today? They are in they exist in some museum of telecommunication industry. Why? They failed to keep pace with the innovation in the marketplace. So, how well do you create wealth? How well do you distribute it? And how well you can sustain and maintain your leadership or your capability in the wake of innovation and transformation that is taking place, so that you are competitive enough to play and survive this game. This is what essentially Chinese economy and Chinese leadership did for their people. Unfortunately, we missed many boats. In 1991, we had a great opportunity when, at that time, the government of Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif introduced reforms in South Asia which were not known in this part of the world. How to liberalize economy, open economy, privatize economy, deregulate economy. And we just threw away those reforms in 2 years and plunged the country in political turmoil for full 1 decade. There was musical chair of governments. India borrowed those reforms, implemented them with stability, and by 2000 it overtook us. Bangladesh later on adopted the same path and ensured stability, and Bangladesh also overtook us by 2013. So we have lessons to learn from our history. In this background, when we came into government 2013, prior to that in May 2013, when elections had taken place, Premier Li of China visited Pakistan. It was his first international visit. And he met Prime Minister-elect Nawaz Sharif and said that it is time that China and Pakistan should work together for an economic enterprise. And I invite you to visit China. So he visited China in July 2013. And as part of the discussions with President Xi and Chinese leadership, we signed an agreement on 5th of July 2013, which was called China-Pakistan Economic Corridor MOU, in which we set up a mechanism that we will translate our relationship into a strategic economic partnership. And mind you, Chinese leadership always said this to us: Pakistan is not a market for us. We are not looking at Pakistan as our market because we have the whole world as a market for us. You are a too small country in that way. You know, their main market is maybe United States, Europe, and many big economies. G7 is probably where they want to sell their products. Our purchasing power is much less. They said that we are engaging with you in this enterprise because we want to see Pakistan move up on the economic ladder through structural transformation of its economy. It should become an industrial economy from an agricultural economy. So you should have one step up, and we would like to help you to move that ladder of economic development and become an industrial economy. So therefore, we have no other interest in Pakistan except to help our friend, our brother, become a strong industrial economy. So this was always their intention, and this was what they conveyed to us whenever we met them. So therefore, in this backdrop, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor was designed as a long-term project from 2014 to 2030. It had 3 phases. It has 3 phases. The first phase up to 2020 focused largely on infrastructure. Why? Because in 2013, Pakistan faced 2 major bottlenecks for economic growth. It did not have energy, and it did not have requisite physical infrastructure and logistics infrastructure to become a hub for trade, commerce, connectivity in the region. We had allowed our road network to be used for NATO supplies to fight a war in Afghanistan at zero cost. We did not even charge any fee for that carriage that plied on our roads, and heavy loads of supplies to NATO in Afghanistan played havoc with our infrastructure, but we did not charge them any money. We were offering free services. So as a result, our infrastructure was broken, railway was breaking, it was 150 years old network and we had not invested in it. So these were major bottlenecks in Pakistan's economic growth. Fixing the infrastructure, fixing the bottlenecks in infrastructure of logistics and energy. As you all know, in 2013 we had 16 to 18 hours of power shortages. Pakistan had an energy policy inviting investors to set up energy plants. No one was willing to come to Pakistan. Not even Pakistan's own investors were willing to invest in Pakistan. Everyone knew that there is a big shortage or there is a big gap in terms of energy supply, and there is an attractive policy. Pakistan was offering very handsome return because there was a high risk on Pakistan due to the security situation. So still no one was willing to come to Pakistan. So under CPEC, when CPEC was signed, we prioritized energy sector to be the #1 infrastructure challenge for Pakistan and allocated out of $46 billion, about $35 billion portfolio for energy sector so that Pakistan can be self-sufficient in energy. The second, as I said, sector was logistics, how to have an improved road and rail connectivity between China and Pakistan. Third element was developing Gwadar Port as a modern port in this region, as a smart port in this region to become gateway for CPEC. And the fourth element was to promote industrial cooperation between China and Pakistan after infrastructure is laid down. So up to 2020, we were focusing to do the infrastructure, and by 2018, we had almost completed more than 80% of infrastructure projects. And some of them were in pipeline or in implementation, which were due for completion in next 2 or 3 years, and they have mainly been completed. So most and bulk of the infrastructure projects, we were able to complete within very short span of 3 to 4 years, and it is unprecedented that Pakistan almost benefited from over $25 billion of Chinese investment in these sectors in very short period of time. And again, as I said, this is at a time when no one was willing to come to Pakistan. President Xi came in April 2015. He was originally supposed to visit in September 2014, but because of the political situation and sit-in in Islamabad, he had to postpone his visit, and CPEC got delayed by several months. But when he came in April 2015, and we signed $46 billion worth of projects, Wall Street Journal put front page story that China signs billions of dollars of worth MOUs with Pakistan. That one story changed the whole profile and image of Pakistan in international circles. A country which was branded as the most dangerous country on the title page of Newsweek, when this story came on the front page of Wall Street Journal, it got a new profile that Pakistan is now a destination for billions of dollars worth of Chinese investments. And what did that do? In 2017 and 18, every ambassador in town, starting from United States to European Union, UK, Japan, France, Germany, would visit me and ask me one thing only. Excellency, how can our companies join CPEC projects? How can our companies also be part of special economic zones under CPEC? So Pakistan almost became a magnet for international investors, where everyone was rushing to Pakistan, that how come Chinese have spotted an opportunity in Pakistan and we are left behind. So CPEC became our global brand. President Xi directed all his big companies to go and invest in Pakistan. So during 2017 and 18, if you happen to be living in Islamabad, you will bear witness that in every sector of Islamabad, Chinese companies had almost opened their offices. If you were flying between Karachi and Islamabad, you would not miss seeing 10 to 15 Chinese businessmen on every flight. They were going all over and trying to find opportunities of investment, and there was such a momentum that I personally felt that in next 3 to 5 years, we can maybe attract $30 to $50 billion in terms of relocation of Chinese industry to Pakistan. But then in 2018, what very politely and softly Ambassador Masood Khalid implied, there was change. Now, how that change happened and why that change happened is not a discussion here. Changes do happen in countries. Political changes do happen. But should political change also mean that you change the national course, the course of policies which are for the good of the country? Or if you want to change them, you must have some alternate policy also. But having no policy and disbanding the policy of the past which was serving the country is a crime. So this is what happened. CPEC was scandalized. I personally was victim of false accusations. Senior most members of the government accused me and accused Chinese state company of giving me a bribe of 70 billion rupees in Multan Sakhar motorway. Imagine, if you have an official government company doing a project in Pakistan as a favor on the most soft loans, it was almost free money, less than 2% interest rate for 20 years period. No one gives you money at that price. If a country is favoring you this way, and the way you return that country, not by saying thank you, but making false accusations and scandalizing those projects, if you were in China's place, what would you do? So what happened? Slowly and gradually, all those investors started to move to Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos and other places when they found that the country environment here was unwelcoming. And we lost a great opportunity. So ladies and gentlemen, CPEC is, I think, a project for Pakistan which offers us an opportunity to leapfrog. We have achieved a lot in terms of building our infrastructure, but now the second phase of CPEC, which was supposed to start in 2020, and that was on industrial cooperation. It focused on the change taking place in Chinese economy. Now, China is also going through a structural change. It is moving from mid-level to higher level now. As a result of that prosperity in China, their labor cost has increased considerably. So all the labor-intensive industry is now shifting from China to other countries where labor cost is relatively low. So more than 80 million jobs from Chinese economy are shifting to other places where there is low cost of production. And today you see Vietnam as one of the major beneficiaries of that relocation. Laos, Cambodia, Bangladesh, India, Ethiopia, everywhere, Chinese businesses are going. So CPEC provides Pakistan a platform where we can offer great opportunity to Chinese enterprises to come to Pakistan, set up their plants here, and be part of that connectivity route through Gwadar to Africa, to Europe, to Middle East and other markets, provided we can also ensure that the SEZs are there for them to plug and play. Now, these SEZs were supposed to be ready by 2020. When we came in 2022, we found not a single one was ready. So now we have accelerated work on them. And just to give you a couple of examples how change has destroyed the momentum. Today you hear stories of protest in Gwadar. Now people of Gwadar are well in their right to make protest, because if such a big project is happening and they don't have access to basic necessities of life like water and electricity, well, they have a right to question that what is in it for us? If we are without water and without electricity, what are you telling us that this is a game changer project? It doesn't give me electricity and water. They're in their right. But now, why this happened? Because all the water and electricity projects that were started for people of Gwadar were stalled. We had constructed 2 dams and we were laying pipelines to supply water to Gwadar town. And where we left them after 4 years, when we came back, we found that the pipes were almost stopped where we left them. So people of Gwadar had no water. Within 6 months, we were able to get that job completed by releasing the funds. Now, if that could be done in 6 months, why that could not be done in 4 years? People of Gwadar did not have electricity during summers. Long power shortages, 12 hours, 14 hours. So then they would be in the right to ask, what are we getting out of CPEC? Work on 2 transmission projects had been started in 2017, which should have been completed by 2018 or latest by 19. 100 megawatt transmission line from Iran and plugging the gap between Panjgur and Turbat transmission system to connect Gwadar with the national grid. Now, where these 2 transmission lines were left, they were found to be still at the same point after 4 years when we came back. Within 1 year, we have been able to complete both the projects. Today, Gwadar is connected to 100 megawatt transmission line with Iran. Gwadar is connected with the national grid, which will provide it another 70 to 80 megawatts of electricity. So mainly their power issue for the time being is resolved, and we have given permission to a Chinese company to set up a 300 megawatt power generation unit in Gwadar to provide for future energy. Now my question is, if all this could be done in 6 months or 1 year, why it did not happen in 4 years? You know, what it says, Allama Iqbal, फितरत अफराद से गमाज भी कर लेती है, कभी करती नहीं मिल्लत के गुनाहों को माफ. And this is what I used to say in 2017, that nature has given us third opportunity. We have dropped 2 catches. We dropped a catch in 60, we dropped a catch in 1991, and this is the third catch, and this is not an ordinary catch. क्रिकेट की बॉल का कैच हो तो रिस्क होता है. ये कुदरत ने फुटबॉल जितनी बड़ी बॉल का कैच दिया था कि बच्चा भी पकड़ सकता था. हमने उसे भी ड्रॉप कर दिया. हमने उसे भी ड्रॉप कर दिया और आज उसकी सजा पा रहे हैं. ये कोई इज्जत की बात नहीं है कि हम IMF के आगे और दोस्त मुल्कों के आगे जाकर उधार के लिए मिन्नतें कर रहे हो, रोल ओवर कर रहे हो. वी appreciate that people and government of China has been most steadfast in this period of crisis, that they showed understanding of Pakistan's crisis and rolled over about $5 billion of debt so that Pakistan does not default. Likewise, Saudi Arabia and UAE. So the point is that, you know, this is not an honorable way of living. An honorable way of living is that we should become a destination of foreign direct investment. Today, we are a population of 23 million to 30 million people. What is the FDI? $1.5 billion. Vietnam is a population of 100 million people. What is the FDI? 28 to 30 billion dollars. So what is there in Vietnam that is not there in Pakistan? So ladies and gentlemen, I can go on and on, but let me just close. That CPEC provides us a great opportunity to move forward. It has enabled us plugging the gaps in Pakistan's economy with energy projects. And when I say energy project, just to share one story with you. Pakistan was blessed with coal deposits in Thar, whose energy value is equal to oil of Iran and Saudi Arabia oil deposits. It's that big coal reserve in Pakistan. Good for next 400 years. For 70 years, we could not tap it. Why? We neither had investment capability, nor we had technology. So what did CPEC do? CPEC provided investment, CPEC provided technology, Chinese technology, and today Thar is the source of cheapest power generation in Pakistan, and it will serve us for next many decades and centuries. This is just one advantage I'm sharing with you that CPEC has done to Pakistan. It is kind of nothing close than magic that such a huge asset that was lying idle has been turned into a productive asset. So it has plugged energy, it has given us modern infrastructure, it has laid a fiber optic cable, it has not only built motorways and highways, it has also given you an information highway with a fiber optic cable. And now the challenge is, how do we move towards the next phase of industrial cooperation through business to business cooperation? I think that is where now the real opportunity of CPEC lies. Our private sector has to fully prepare itself to take advantage of this opportunity. I still see that there is a big knowledge gap and debate gap in our private sector in terms of understanding the Chinese market. China imports $2,700 billion worth of goods from all over the world. $2.7 trillion is import of China from all over the world. And what is Pakistan's share? $3 billion only. Isn't this a shame? China can absorb as much agriculture produce as we can export. It can absorb as much meat from Pakistan as we can export. It can absorb as much as fruits and vegetables we can produce from Pakistan, and many more products. So I think if China is importing $2.7 trillion from all over the world, at least with our relationship and our proximity, we should have a surplus of $30 to $50 billion to export to China. It's not a very ambitious target, but for that our private sector has to look at Chinese markets, find out where they can replace imports from other countries and destinations, and be able to offer competitive products. When you are dealing with business to business mode, you cannot draw on any governmental concession. You have to be competitive. So we need to identify our strengths. What we did a study in Planning Commission, we found that we are not even leveraging those categories of products where we have a relative competitive advantage. And our still focus is largely on European and American markets. So I think there is a huge market next door in China. Our private sector has to look for opportunities, has to look for joint ventures, and I think there is unlimited opportunity there for us to harness, and that is the way forward for CPEC. And in the end, I would say that once I was traveling to China and I met a senior leader. And I asked him that, how would you summarize your success, economic success, as a lesson for us? He laughed. He said, I can give you a very long answer. But I want to be honest to you because you are our brothers. He said, to develop, you need two things: political stability and social solidarity. If you can produce these two things, you will become magnet for investments and you will become an engine of economic growth. No economy, no country can live with political instability and aspire to become an economic giant. The first and foremost thing is to make sure that we don't compromise on political stability. And this is a lesson each one of us has to learn, whether we are politicians, whether we are the establishment, or whether we are the judiciary. Anyone who creates a stir in Pakistan to compromise its political stability is not doing any service, is actually doing a great harm. And second thing is, if we have to move forward, we need whole of nation approach. When you are in crisis, you cannot move forward with polarization, you cannot move forward with fragmentation, you cannot move forward with conflicts. There are times when you have to look up to bigger goals, you have to work for higher cause, and you have to collaborate, not have to compete all the time. This is a challenge of collaboration. This is a challenge where we have to harmonize our society and move forward with joint efforts from every section of society. So if we can do that, Pakistan has so much potential that within next 10 years, we can achieve what it took others to achieve in 25 years. We have laid down a 5E framework like we did Vision 2010. Unfortunately, it was disrupted. We did Vision 2025. It got disrupted halfway. But now again our ministry and all of us have worked and identified a roadmap for future based on 5Es. How do we reorient our country towards exports? That is the key driver for us. If we will not leapfrog on exports, we are in great mess. So transforming our agriculture, our industry, our mining sector, our IT sector, our manpower resources towards exports is the number one challenge. Two, how fast we harness e-Pakistan opportunity. Pakistan has a great opportunity in terms of its youth. Our nuclear bomb is not our weapon. Our nuclear bomb, real nuclear bomb, is our youth. If we can harness the power of our youth, no one can beat us, because Pakistan has such a huge demographic dividend in shape of its youth. If we can give them the skills, the education, they will take us forward and give us a big leapfrog jump. So empowering the youth through e-Pakistan, IT skills, it will take Pakistan forward to become an information power. Three, how do we address the environment challenge? And in environment, water and food security, because we have climate change vulnerability. Fourth, how do we address our energy issues? How fast can we embrace renewable energies and lessen our dependence on fossil fuels? And fifth E is equity and empowerment. Equity means how can we distribute our fruits of development, how fast can we uplift the most poor sections and regions of Pakistan, and how fast can we empower our youth and women, because no country can move forward without at least having 50% plus female participation in its workforce. A country with 20-25% female workforce participation has no future. So we have to empower our women, our youth in order to move forward. And it is in this 5E framework that we have designed this budget and future policies. And I hope that if we can keep our journey on this path, within next 2-3 years, we should be able to turn around Pakistan, have a stable foundation, and from there launch a much bigger mega project of Vision 2047, so that by 2047, when we are 100 years, we are in the top 10-15 countries of the world. And then I also would like to acknowledge the great contribution of Chinese Embassy, which has always been very helpful in implementing CPEC, and particularly Madam Pang has been a team member with us and forcefully advocating CPEC. The Chinese leadership in China, many thousands of Chinese workers in Pakistan who have left their families and lived in Pakistan for many years to make sure that CPEC projects become successful. I salute them all and we acknowledge their contribution. Pakistan Zindabad.
Indeed, we are honored to have Professor Ehsan Iqbal among us today. No doubt the world knows your contribution on CPEC project. Thank you for enlightening us with thought-provoking address. With this opening session formally comes to an end. Please, all the speakers of the seminar are requested to join the chief guest for the group photo on the stage.
Dr. Nadeem Javed, kindly come to the stage, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are requested to remain seated on your seats while the chief guest is departing for another official meeting. I assure you that second session of seminar will give you more exposure and opportunities. Guests are required to be seated. All panelists are required to come to stage and have their seats. We are starting the panel discussion right away.
अभी ये लाइन बोलती रहना है. All panelists are required.